Its mission is to get neighbors moving towards a more active lifestyle, make healthy choices, and create a positive image of the community. After 5 seasons, the Conkey Cruisers have biked their way into the national spotlight, helping Rochester earn several important distinctions and even earning an award from the president. But best of all, they've helped lead hundreds of Rochester residents to better health. Teresa Bowick, also known as Nurse Bowick, is captain of the Conkey Cruisers, and we're happy to welcome her to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm delighted to be here today.
How did you get the idea to start this organization?
Well, it all happened one day when I was out for a jog. I really was, Tiana, minding my own business, jogging down the street when a young man said, "Hey lady, are you on probation?" And I'm like, what? And I stopped and I talked to the young man. He thought that I was running from the police. And I was very, very bothered by that comment. And I went on my jog, and I was now jogging on off Joseph Avenue. And I stopped to talk to some neighbors, and a man walked up to the group I was speaking to, and he said, "Don't talk to her." I said, "Don't talk to me?" He said, "No, don't talk to her. She's the police." I said, "I'm not the police, I'm a nurse."
Right.
He said, "Don't be fooled by her in her jogging clothes. She is the police because nobody exercises in this neighborhood."
Wow.
And so from that moment on, thinking about a young child seeing me jog in my neighborhood and assume that I'm running from the police, have an adult man accuse me of being the police, I said there's work that needs to be done.
Right.
And I'd like to change the image of physical fitness in this neighborhood through cycling.
And so it started small, but now it's grown into this really big group. How has it changed over the years, and how many people have participated?
We, at the end of this season, which is our 5th season, we will have 845 participants that identify
Wow.
as Conkey Cruisers.
Wow.
So it has been an extraordinary transformation from where we started with the bicycles in my living room, because I had no place to put them when we started. And so the first bikes that we were able to buy, they went into my living, all the furniture came out, and my living room became a bicycle park. And that first season, the volunteers met at my house, took the bikes out of the living room, rode them up to the park, and that's how we started the program.
Was it difficult to get people to want to ride a bicycle?
Not at all. Our community was hungry for an opportunity for physical activity, supervised physical activity. And cycling is so much fun, people came out and drove. So the first year it was very easy to recruit 112 people. They were excited.
And this is for of all ages. I saw that there's a baby cruisers group.
There is a babies. We start at 2 and we'll go as high as 102. And there's a bike for everyone.
What happens on a ride? How often do you ride during the season?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we ride from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
And it is a fun family fitness activity. So we have families where there's 3 or 4 generations represented.
Can anyone join? Do you have to, have your own bike, have your own helmet?
You don't need to have your own bike or your own helmet. We ask you to bring a desire for physical fitness, to want to make a difference in your life. That's your entry fee into Conkey Cruisers. We provide the bicycles and we provide the helmet. And at the end of the program, if you're able to or willing to complete 5 of the 6 weeks, you get a brand new bike at the end.
Wow.
So you're awarded for physical fitness and getting yourself healthy.
Okay, and now before you start out the season, are there health checks that happen?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a nurse at heart always.
Okay.
And so we do blood pressure screenings ahead of time. We do height, we do weight, we do BMI. And we also give people an opportunity to discuss with nurses, healthcare issues that they may have. This year, there was a lot of folks that had issues around medication. And so we have nurses available to help them and answer those questions.
Okay. How are you able to do all of this for free? You mentioned volunteers.
It's volunteers. It's volunteers. It's community. I say I send out beggargrams like nobody else. So a lot of folks that will see this face, they're like, okay, what does Teresa want from me now? But the thing about Rochester that I love so much is we are a community of givers. We are a true community of givers. And people come out and they support Conkey Cruisers. And the thing is, if you just come for one day and that's all you can give, we appreciate that small gift of your time. We do have about 10 10 volunteers that are there every program day. And that's one of our major challenges, is finding a way to compensate people for their times, because we have lots of organizations that are willing to donate bikes. It's a little bit more difficult to find stipends and those type of grants. So when we look at what our needs are and our challenges, you know, and how we can do business better, it's just being able to find that right sum of money to be able to compensate people for their time, because it is a large time commitment for the volunteers that are there every program day.
What do you say to the people who maybe they have a certain stereotype in their mind of what a bicyclist looks like or doesn't look like? What do you say to get them to come on out for a ride?
I say there is no butt too big to bike. And that's one of the major accomplishments of Conkey Cruisers, is we've been able to remove those barriers and stereotypes around cycling. The thought that cycling was a middle-aged white man in spandex sports. Anybody can ride. And we take the time and make sure that we can teach you safely how to ride, and then have a great time cycling. Because cycling can be used for transportation. You can use your cycling to get back and forth to work. People are using it for recreation. They're using it for fitness. And the health benefits of cycling is just outstanding.
What are some of the safety points that you drill into the riders?
No headphones.
Okay.
Especially with my teens, that they want to have their earbuds. And I remind them, where it is the law, you cannot have both ears occluded when you are riding your bicycle, and you absolutely need to make sure that you are wearing your helmet. You know, our community just lost a young man in a car accident who was not wearing a helmet, and certainly his family wants to make sure that his death is not in vain. And so we're going to make sure that all of our young people at Conkey Cruisers know that Kenzaya lost his life. He did not have a helmet on when he had the collision, and we want to really ensure and make sure young people understand the importance of wearing their helmet.
You guys have been in Washington, D.C., you've been on the Steve Harvey Show, you've been honored for all of the great work that you've been doing. What's the community reaction to that?
The community has just, it's been an outstanding reaction. And surprising in a sense, because before Conkey Cruisers, when you heard about Conkey Avenue, period, you thought of negative thoughts. You think of crime, and you think of drugs, and you think of fights, and you think of really bad things. And Conkey Cruisers has been very successful in rebranding that neighborhood. And so when you mention the word Conkey, the thoughts is Conkey Cruisers. These are young people that just went to the White House. You know, we've received a letter from Michelle Obama, the First Lady. So we've done a great job in rebranding our neighborhood. And no matter what side of town I'm on, I don't have to wear anything that has Conkey Cruisers on, and people will yell out, "There's Nurse Bowick and Conkey Cruisers," or toot their horn if I'm riding my bike, and they just know Conkey Cruisers. And I'm real pleased that we've been able to change that image of our neighborhood.
Right. What are some of the other things that you encourage people to do at home outside from cycling? And I know you're on the radio and you have a book. What are some of the other health outreach activities that you're involved with? Prevention. Okay. Screening, knowing your numbers, being sure to be aware of what's going on around you. We were just had a challenge with the Conkey Cruisers, getting to know your friends. And so each day we do a trivia where I ask them another question about my personal self. I say, well, what's my full name? And they'll say, well, Teresa Bowick, but they won't say my middle name. And it's really to encourage them to know about the people that you consider your friends. And my all-time favorite is our Feed a Family on $5, where we go to the local grocery store. Every participant gets $5, and they have to go into the grocery store and come out with a healthy meal to feed four. It has to include a fruit or a vegetable, and bonus points if you can add a dessert. So Tiana, what are you cooking for $5?
And it's possible. Pasta, lean meat, a vegetable. I think that's all you need.
That's all you need.
Okay.
What are you doing for dessert?
Oh, fruit.
That's right.
Is that the
you
right
can
answer?
get it all in. That's the right answer. You can get it all in for under $5.
Wonderful. Finally, what keeps you motivated to do this work?
The kids in the Conkey Cruisers. They are so motivating when I see those little eyes and I see them on their bicycles and they're riding and they're so proud of every little accomplishment. And the baby cruisers are aged 2 to 6. And when I see those young people, and I know that if I can encourage physical fitness, if I can encourage them to eat better at that age, then they'll never have to deal with the chronic illnesses that I treat on the other end, the diabetes, the hypertension. So that's my inspiration. It's all about preventing and helping them to live the healthiest life that they possibly can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your work in the community. Again, if you'd like more information about the Conkey Cruisers, visit their website, conkeycruisers.org. You can also email Nurse Bowick at conkeycruisers@rochester.rr.com or check out their Facebook page.